And we are back with the F1 videos. I didn't watch the Japanese GP, but I did hear that Ollie had a 51G crash, and then Kimi won once again. I think, don't quote me, I have not watched the highlights. I've been pretty busy recently, so I haven't been able to actually really watch this season, but I know it's been pretty crap. And I hear that Max Verstappen wants to retire by the end of this year. He did warn us back in like 2023. My name is Alex. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Go check out Daily Fuel Up. Link in the description below. We are back with the F1 content. Thank you, Daily Fuel Up, for letting me react to your videos. Go check them out. Link in the description below. And today we're going to react to every driver's thoughts about the Japanese GP. And after this video, I'm going to, well, watch the highlights because I don't got that time to watch the entire race. But I need y'all to click that subscribe button, make it great so we can hit 100K subscribers by the end of this year. That is my goal. You see that red button down below the video? Click it. It's free. It's easy. And click that like button if you guys like me reacting to this Formula 1 content. And click that notification bell because I post 1 to 4 videos a day. That's 7 to 28 videos a week. I want this video to hit 20 likes, so click it. Appreciate it. And get yourself some advanced GG. Use my code REALALEX. It's gonna pop up before I even said that, so it's REALEX. You don't know if it's spelled real or if you don't know if it's spelled Alex. So it's real Alex. It's like I say it real Alex, or it's relax, or is it Real Alex? I don't know. So go get yourself some. Link in the description below. And go check out my other channels. Link in the description below. And let's go on today's video.
And then of course at one point you hit a ceiling.
Also, go check out my vlog channels, my vlog videos, my car vlogs. I went to go see a twin turbo Chevy Silverado, which was crazy, and then Car Me is gonna be after this video, so go check them out.
We're not very quick.
I heard what's it called? Lando Norris said it was like yo-yoing racing.
Problem is not only qualifying, it's also racing.
That's frustrating.
This is every driver's thoughts after the Japanese Grand Prix. And
I like these kind of like series that Daily Fuel Up is doing. Daily Fuel Up, keep doing your work. You guys do such a good job. Well, it's just you, I think. You're doing a very good job on these videos.
Max is refusing to talk to the media, saying he needs to think about life choices.
Yeah.
We start with Fernando Alonso.
He's
the
a
man
dad.
is a Suzuka legend, iconic for overtaking Schumi on the outside of 130R.
The line in 130R, and Alonso having none of it, straight around the outside.
But let's face it, that wasn't going to happen in 2026. I mean, the FIA didn't even show the onboards as cars passed through the iconic corner. It just sounded weird.
What the heck? Is it like a dying
Instead of
car?
pinning the throttle, cars were actively harvesting. And this is what Fernando Alonso meant when he told Spanish interviewers that these corners are high-speed charging stations.
Pero las curvas rápidas ahora son puntos de recarga. Entonces
And Alonso continued, saying that Aston will be facing pain for at least the next few months. He was blunt, saying the fun is over and that the great challenges of the Suzuka racetrack have simply disappeared.
honestly it didn't change much compared to the first 2 races. Still the same car and
Give
still
him
the
a
same
good
challenges.
car. I
that
wanna
we are
see
facing,
Fernando Alonso win
so,
again.
Yeah, more or less what we expected. I think Suzuka is not the best track for us in terms of weaknesses on the car.
Forgot to post the
So
freaking
yeah,
video.
it was tough, and it's gonna be tough, I think, for a few months.
Instead of being balls to the wall, cars are dropping 50 kilometers an hour before the corner just to harvest the 8 megajoule energy limit for
That's
the chicane.
stupid.
Alonso finished P18, but at least Aston Martin finished the race. I'd say it's a big win for the team, just like it would be if you hit that subscribe button. But he wasn't the only one raging on the radio about the massive drop in speed. Charles Leclerc erupted on the radio after his qualifying lap, calling the rules a fucking joke.
Yeah.
Joke. Fuck's sake, I lose everything in this race.
Lashed out when people said he carried too much speed in.
I hear a lot of this stuff on Instagram, so that's where I kind of get most of my like knowledge of the season and stuff. So I'm not a complete noob. I'm not a complete like oblivious to like what's going on. I hear a lot of this on Instagram and TikTok.
to Spoon Corner, but admits the team's current setup is costing them in the straights.
I was just pushing to the max, and it was a pretty good lap overall. The only thing that we struggle on our side for now is whenever we push in Q3, the optimization of the system is struggling a little bit, and then we lose times in the straight. So we lost a lot of lap time in the straight.
And despite
rooting for
finishing on
Ferrari
the
this
podium,
year.
Charles still feels like the car is down on power and doesn't truly understand the whole deployment situation. When you have a driver like Charles saying that pushing harder in corners actually makes you slower on the stopwatch, there's definitely some flaw in this new 50-50 power split. At least he finished in P3, continuing the podium streak of Ferrari in 2026.
Isn't that 3 consecutive podiums for Ferrari this year?
Charles is definitely extracting every ounce of
I need
performance
to
out of
watch
that
the
Ferrari, holding off his
highlights.
teammate and the Mercedes cars when it matters most.
It seems that I was quite down compared to the others, but it might be that it was just an impression and we were just deploying at different places. And
But his teammate is the one who lost out this time. Lewis Hamilton arrived in Japan trying to figure out the Ferrari's North Star, but it's clear he's still adjusting to how this car handles the high-speed changes of direction. In Friday practice, he was complaining about the snaps,
I'm very slow because I got no confidence in the car.
but on Saturday he put the car in P6.
Better than 2019. Hamilton stays down in P6.
Where he'd also finished the race on Sunday. He called the race terrible and is still trying to figure out why the Ferrari is losing so much power.
Pretty terrible ultimately because I was P3 and ended up going backwards. But yeah, just need to understand where I was losing all the power. I just
I hate
had
this
a real lack of power
power
through it,
stuff.
particularly
It's
the
just
second
bull.
stint. But majority of the race, even from the
Am I even
beginning, I
recording?
couldn't keep up with people
I am.
just for the lack of power.
P6 isn't bad, but when your teammate is on the radio telling the engineers that you're losing them time, it stings a little.
We are losing a bit of time for your info.
Lewis defended the track, but spent most of the 53 laps managing the severe battery clipping. At least everyone now travels back to Europe for a break, and Ferrari can finally start working on these issues. And speaking of travel, F1 drivers...
every single team since the Iran and the US war is still going on and stuff, which just needs to end. So that's going to give him a good month, and hopefully everything gets fixed out so the races won't be like complaining about battery issues, but I think that's still going to happen.
are constantly traveling around the globe every week. This is actually where today's sponsor makes a ridiculous amount of sense. Introducing what is probably every F1 driver's favorite tool, Sailing, which is an eSIM app that gives you mobile data abroad without having to deal with physical SIM cards or airport queues. You open the app, choose your destination, they have plans in over 200 countries, plus regional and global options if you're traveling to multiple places, then pick the data plan that fits you. They've got different sizes and even unlimited plans. At checkout, you enter the code DailyFuelUp and you'll see the 15% discount applied instantly. After that, you just follow the installation steps inside the app. It takes a few minutes, and once you land, it activates automatically, so you step off the plane and you already have internet. No waiting in line for a SIM card, no sketchy best price my friend situations outside the airport. You only need to install the eSIM once, even if you travel to different countries. They'll notify you once you've used 80% of your data. You can top up in a few clicks. It works on iOS and Android. There's 24/7 chat support, and it even has built-in ad blocking that can reduce data usage. So if you're traveling soon and don't want your phone bill to look like a Ferrari strategy disaster, this is a pretty solid option. Get an exclusive 15% discount on Saily data plans. Download the Saily app and use the code DailyFuelUp at checkout. The link is in the description and pinned comment. And now, getting back to the video. If Lewis is frustrated by the car, this next man just did the unthinkable. The Frenchman outqualified Max Verstappen in a Red Bull.
So the season
Which
here
is
at
a surprise, I
Suzuka,
heard
7th is
that.
the best he can manage on that run.
Let that sink in for a moment. He called the car different and still admitted that the RB22 is incredibly hard to drive.
But yeah, the car felt very different in qualifying, not very much in a good way. It was just very hard to drive. So yeah, honestly, top P7 was like my goal, my unachievable goal, but we're very close to it.
But it's scary to see that Red Bull's actual qualifying target is just P7. Hadjar kept his head down during the race, and then he was caught out by the safety car. But at least he had an interesting battle with Ocon and Hulkenberg for the final points-paying position. Unfortunately, he'd lose out to both, finishing the race in P12. But while Red Bull are scratching their heads, Mercedes are dealing with a civil war. As much as Russell enjoyed the fights in both Melbourne and China, it feels like things are now getting away from him. He had a suspension issue in qualifying, but managed to drive through it and put the car on P2.
And George Russell hasn't managed it, and he ends up 4 tenths down.
But still, Russell was a quarter of a second off the pace of Kimi. And then when the race started, both Mercedes were absolutely cooked off the line by Ferrari and McLaren.
Here we go. And a very good start from Oscar Piastri and Charles Leclerc, and Kimi Antonelli has dropped.
You can see the struggle there, the little smoke come off the tires.
Goes into the first corner in the lead. Ahead
Is it
of
too
Charles
loud? I'm sorry.
Leclerc.
If that's
He'd
better.
later fight his way back into P2, but when the safety car came out, Russell once again got the bad end of the stick.
Can he confirm Kimi's going to go in the place that we
Strange.
Not sure, George.
Hamilton right behind him. Piastri in second place. Hamilton now in third.
Whoa, problem for George Russell. George Russell loses a place.
It's got absolutely nothing. No, he's got a bigger issue. That is not just energy deployment.
From here, it went from bad to worse, as Russell couldn't make any inroads, finishing the race in P4 and dropping the championship lead to Kimi.
I mean, everything that could go wrong did go wrong. Restart, I got a harvest limit, which meant I couldn't recharge.
Hey, George, do you hate the battery now, or are you going to keep on glazing it?
My battery, and I had no battery to restart. Lewis passed
So,
me.
do you agree that the battery stuff is crap now?
And then faced another battery problem when Charles passed me.
Thanks to the dirty air, the Mercedes was stuck, and it seems like it's finally starting to show some weakness. But before we get to his teammate, we've got one of the scariest moments of the race. Ollie Behrman had the entire paddock holding their breath after a terrifying 50G crash, which brought out the safety car.
Oh, he got to the grass, no.
I'm glad he's okay. I'm really glad he's okay. That was very bad.
He lost the rear heading into Spoon, and with the 2026 cars having less downforce and a shorter wheelbase, they are incredibly snappy when they step out of line.
I heard like if there's stuff in like Las Vegas or like the high-speed corners, like in Singapore, this could legit be deadly. I don't know, but this could be very, very bad.
And for the future Ferrari driver, it has already begun in qualifying. Ollie only managed P18.
Except for Ollie Behrman. That's the big shock from the first part of qualifying.
Yeah,
Now they're doing it like a bunch of talks now ever since that crash.
So consistently good in qualifying, and surprised that he's out in Q1.
We're just losing a lot of time in the straights. I think some type of software didn't find any pace, so I need to understand if there was still a small issue on the car or if it was fixed or not. But you know, it's very tight margins, and just didn't have enough to get through today.
But at least it was great to see him in good spirits after that massive
you
shock.
see him limp.
Everything good. First of all, I'm absolutely fine. It was a scary moment. That happened out there, but everything is okay, which is the main thing.
I got to admit, I was pretty worried for a second when he couldn't stand up.
I heard that when I was Sunday, I was at church and I heard that he crashed. I was like, oh crap. And was it qualifying? Or was something, but I heard that he crashed. I was like, oh no. And then I was like, I want to see it because I was at church. Well, it was like before church. And I was like, all right, I'll watch it after. I go on Instagram. I see it after church. And he crashes. Like, oh, geez. And then I hear like Carlos is talking and then all that stuff.
On the other side of the garage, his teammate finally broke the drought. Esteban Ocon managed to keep his Haas out of the wall.
You know, I'm pretty happy with the job that we've done on our side. Just looking at ourselves, I think it was pretty positive the way we've built the weekend.
The Frenchman was really happy with qualifying, and for the first time this season, he got the better of his teammate. But even before the race, Ocon was in a good mood, believing that he could do much better at Suzuka. And when the race got underway, he actually fought with a Red Bull, eventually getting the better of Hadjar and getting his first points of the season.
Okay, so that's the checkered flag. It's P10.
It's a weekend Haas might want to forget, but 2026 is turning into a season Williams just want to get over. Alex Albon looks completely exhausted. Williams are officially lost with these new aerodynamic regulations. Nothing is going right for the team.
A decent plan for this week in terms of what we want to accomplish, learn from the car. Still think it's going to be a tough weekend for us. I think this track, generally high speed, change of direction, there is a weight penalty in these kind of corners. So let's say not having high expectations and just focusing on the job.
The car is overweight and they don't even have enough downforce to get through the S's.
Dang.
Nothing is going right for the team.
Corners were looking good, balance in the car was feeling good as well. Just we're losing out somewhere. So we'll look at the data and try and fix this issue.
Alex managed P17 in quali, which is probably the best he could have done given the car. And in the race, Williams basically resorted to testing.
Not sure if we understand them still, so we'll keep looking into it. And then at the same time, why not do a bit of
maybe not.
A bit of pit stop practice and a bit of front wing testing. So yeah, that's all we could do today.
It's clear something is very wrong, and this was echoed
Let me
by
know
his
in the
teammate.
comments below
Carlos
what your
Sainz did not
thoughts
hold
of
back
that
his
of the
criticisms of the
Japanese
FIA this weekend
race.
to try and fix the qualifying spectacle where drivers were lifting off the throttle to superclip and harvest energy. The FIA quietly changed the rules overnight, dropping the maximum permitted energy recharge from 9 megajoules to 8 megajoules. Carlos already kicked off on Saturday, saying the tweak and the Williams car aren't good enough.
In China, we were quite far from the midfield, even in pure numbers, so I don't expect any miracles. Still, we will do what we've been doing up until now this year, which is maximize whatever we have, and if that brings us another nice surprise like in China, we'll take it.
But his biggest criticism came after the race, blasting the FIA for ignoring driver concerns, which led to the crash of Ollie Bearman.
The problem is not only qualifying, it's also racing, and we've been warning that this kind of accident was always gonna happen.
It's clear that the smooth operator is running out of patience. At least things were a little better in the French camp. Pierre Gasly is quietly having a fantastic start to the season. He brought the Alpine home in P7 and once again out-qualified both Red Bulls.
Yes, we do. P7 in front of Patrick.
Probably the best qualifying of the years.
In the race, he backed this up, keeping Verstappen behind him. So much so that Max even got on the radio and praised the speed of the Alpine.
The Alpine is fast as well.
Gasly is sitting comfortably in P8 heading into the 5-week break, with almost more points than the whole Red Bull team combined. And his rookie teammate is doing exactly what is asked of him. Franco Colapinto was on track for a decent weekend before the safety car came out.
It's good, of course, that we were looking for more, and it's looking really positive at the start of the race. We're running 5th and 6th, and it's looking like we could score a whole lot more points, and of course the safety car kind of damaged our race, mine and Pierre as well.
He struggled a bit in qualifying, only managing P15. Then he'd fall back a bit in the race, fighting with Sainz and bringing the car home in P16. At least he's keeping his nose clean and will slowly look to build up to the pace of Gasly. On the other hand, Audi finally had 2 cars start the race. Before the race, Hülkenberg was quite shocked at the news that races in the Middle East would be cancelled, but the Audi had some stunning pace in quali. Nico admittedly fucked up his Q2 run.
And yeah, fine margins, not, ideal on my side. Q2 wasn't clean enough both runs, so yeah, paid a price for that by not being through. Car felt decent, but yeah, not quite enough.
But managed to drag the car into points contention in the race. He even beat Hadjar to bring the car home in P11. And it definitely seems like things are looking up for one of the newest teams on the grid. Unfortunately, his teammate had some bad luck. Gabi was quite happy with Mattia Binotto now at the helm of the Audi team.
And I'm happy to have Mattia,
oh yeah, I heard that they switched, what's it called? One of their heads switched to another team. Was it Aston or was it another team? I forgot.
He had some electrical issues during practice, but in quali the Brazilian managed to drag his Audi into Q3.
Gabriel Bortoleto puts in the fastest final sector time.
4 tenths quicker than Nico Hülkenberg.
So yeah, I would say I'm very happy with what the team has provided to me today as a car, as a power unit. Still a lot to work and to get better. Also from my side, things that I need to fine-tune, but I'm extremely happy to be starting tomorrow inside the top 10 and be able to fight for points.
While the car is looking much better, Audi will have to do a lot of work in the 5-week break to ensure it remains competitive in race trim. But if there's one team that is doing slightly better than expected, it's the newcomers. Valtteri was definitely happy that Cadillac managed to finish the race in China.
We've made progress, so that's good. We've seen that, yes, not finishing the first race with both cars, we managed to do that in China.
But Japan was the opportunity for something even better. Bottas actually managed to out-qualify Fernando Alonso's Aston Martin.
I feel like we made improvements, but that's where we are. We are still good that we are ahead of Aston. But yeah, still the gap to the midfield is there.
I mean, who'd have thought that 3 races into the season, the newest team on the grid would out-qualify the pre-season favourites? Unfortunately, the Cadillac still has some issues and fell back significantly during the race.
We have lots of data. We have upgrades coming to Miami. Now we have more time to develop the car, to analyze everything. So the mood is good. We're making progress, and
at least he beat Albon and Stroll, and it was a double finish for the team again. Checo came into the race weekend hoping for mileage, but just like the Flying Finn, he did one better.
Hopefully this weekend we will be able to have a lot of mileage, a very good progression, and hopefully we can have a strong weekend, and yeah.
Despite losing 0.3 a lap on deployment, Perez dragged his Cadillac to P17 in the race. But let me put this into context. Cadillac beat both Astons and a Williams in the race.
Yeah.
And with how unpredictable the season is and that big update to come, I wouldn't be surprised to see the American team fighting with the midfield pretty soon. Cadillac are punching above their weight for sure. Just
Agreed.
like this next team. After a solid race in China, I'm sure Lawson didn't expect the same success with all the front runners on the grid.
We were aiming to try and get to the points. We definitely didn't expect to finish where we did. Obviously, it helped having some of the front guys not finishing, but even still, we would have been back into the points, which would have been a good race for us. So
Liam had a shocking Q2 thanks to some front wing issues, but he was one of the few drivers who actually benefited from the safety car. By the time he reached the finish line, he was in P9, comfortably ahead of Ocon. That's 3 points finishes for the Racing Bulls, who are now proving competitive against their sister team.
From where we started, the doubts we had with obviously the balance we ended quali with yesterday, I think we've done a pretty good job to rebalance the car and have a strong race.
Unfortunately, Lindblad didn't have the same luck when the safety car came out. Arvid Lindblad shocked everyone on Saturday when he knocked out Max Verstappen for the final spot in Q3.
And what a lap from Arvid Lindblad, who's knocked Max Verstappen out of the top 10.
That's
And I think
wild.
with all those sort of setbacks we've had, to still go out in quali and do the job like that, I'm very proud of myself.
Sure, his race pace faded on Sunday and he didn't score points, but that safety car was really annoying.
It hasn't been an easy week with, quite a lot of issues, P2, P3 again now with the safety car, but I think I'm not going to look at it on like a luck side because I don't believe in this. I'm going to focus on what I could have done better.
At least he proved that when the pressure's on in qualifying, he can get the job done. And the guy he knocked out, however, is in fight mode. But before I get to Max, McLaren finally figured out their trouble. Let's face it, China was rock bottom for McLaren. Neither car started the race, and aside from the sprint, Japan was actually the first time in 2026 we got to see the Australian in a race. Oscar put his car P3 for qualifying and was finally looking to challenge Mercedes.
The first lap was pretty solid, so no, all in all pretty happy
I promise
with that.
next April
yeah.
I'll hopefully be less. Well, not April. Next race, which will be Miami. Hopefully I'll be able to watch it because it's in the U.S. and I hopefully will be less busy. But I'll promise I'll watch the highlights. I promise. Click that subscribe button.
Nice to get a bit closer to Mercedes, so hopefully we can stay there tomorrow.
After turn 1, it actually looked like we might have a new winner. Oscar didn't just jump both Mercs on the line, he actually took the lead. Piastri became the biggest victim of the safety car. McLaren called him into the pits, and a lap later, Kimi emerged as the leader. Oscar just kept his head down and continued his race, eventually finishing in P2 and proving that just maybe someone could challenge Mercedes.
That we could have, and got the results we deserved for it.
Unfortunately, Lando got the raw end of the deal, but still pulled off a late race masterclass. When Lando was asked about China, his answers were a straightforward no.
Before we talk more about this weekend, can we throw it back to China?
It's clear that the world champ doesn't want to think about the past, but in Japan, he qualified P5 and was happy beating at least one of the Ferraris.
I would say so. I mean, to be ahead of one of the Ferraris after the weekend I've had, I think is pretty. I'm pretty happy with that. So.
But behind the scenes, something really bad is happening. Since each team is only permitted 3 batteries for the season, Lando is now on his final one. Despite this hanging over his head, the world champion fought his way to P5 with a brilliant late overtake on Lewis.
I think the pace was good. I think honestly, I think we were decent. Clearly the Mercedes was still another level, but we could have a nice race with the Ferraris.
Lando was definitely happy after the race, and
so
it's clear
wobbly.
that McLaren are showing some signs of life, but for one man, the misery continued. Lance Stroll is yet to finish a race in 2026. He admits Aston have a lot of work. They need more power and more downforce.
Improve the reliability. We need to find performance, like I said earlier, in the engine, more power, and more downforce.
But judging from the sidelines, I think they need a new car. Lance finished last in qualifying, more than half a second off the Cadillacs, and his misery continued on Sunday.
Coming easy to the box, Lance. We have an issue. Sorry, Lance will have to switch off. Have to retire the car.
He was forced to retire the car because of a water pressure issue.
But I was having a fun race with Fernando in our own little championship, our own Aston Martin championship. So
It seems like Aston is now fighting for their own championship, and the team needs a miracle. But Max is definitely fed up. Max Verstappen is having a horrible start to 2026, and his temper has officially boiled over. He snapped at an interviewer on Thursday, and between the white lines, it wasn't much better. Max was dumped out in Q2.
I think something with the car made this completely unrun. Suddenly it is qualifying.
But then going into qualifying, it was again very difficult. Just sliding a lot, but at the same time also not having the rotation mid corner everywhere. So that makes it quite a complicated balance. So that's
It's not ideal around here.
It's like the Red Bull is broken when you listen to Max talking. He
I feel
dragged the
bad.
RB22 to P8, and despite the safety car being in his favor, it
I
didn't
miss
matter.
watching just all the drivers' talent because they all have such great talent. It's just they're being held against a wall or just held back just because of a stupid battery, and I just hate that.
Couldn't get past the Alpine.
That's why we watch Formula 1. That's why we watch racing. We watch racing because of talent, not because of, hey, we gotta use our brain to hold down a battery. You know what I mean? Like, I understand the strategy, all the other stuff, but you're still using your brain to race. You gotta worry about, okay, how much brake power do I need to, how much like brake force do I need to do, like the DRS back then, like the cornering, the battling between all the cars. It's not even that. It's just, hey, let's make sure we don't run out of battery. And I just hate that. That's kind of one of the reasons why I actually haven't watched this season, because of that. It's not entertaining, and that's why we watch sports, to be entertained, to see the competitiveness, and because we love sports, and we can't have that. It's like saying football. Or well, that's not even a good comparison. I'm trying to think of a comparison, but I can't really think of a comparison. Yeah, I don't know. I was trying to think of like a football comparison or like a baseball comparison, but I couldn't think of it.
Gasly as Norris finishes 5th and Hamilton finishes 6th.
Like, it's okay to have other teams have more value than others because of sponsorships, the racers, but now everyone is having these battery issues, and it's just so stupid.
Max Verstappen with an almighty save towards the line.
I don't think it was very good. I mean, yesterday was a disaster. Today, in the race, I just maximized my race, but...
And after being dumped out of Q2, Max went deep, stating that there's a real possibility he might be walking away after this season. Max told reporters he needs to make some serious life decisions. It's clear that Max is done with the lack of mid-corner speed, and after being disqualified at the Nordschleife, it seems like everything is falling apart for the four-time champ. But while Max is sinking, a new king is on the rise. Kimi Antonelli is the real deal. Back-to-back poles, back-to-back wins, and the Italian teenager is officially leading the Formula 1 World Championship.
Antonelli, and congratulations, you are officially the youngest ever person to lead a Formula 1 World Championship. Do you have anything to say?
I like his suit, that's cool.
It feels pretty good.
Or is that like, is that
it wasn't
part of the
easy
suit?
though. He was
It
bogged
looks
down
like
at
it
the
is.
start and then trusted his Mercedes. The safety car also helped a lot, and once Kimi was in the lead, no one was gonna catch him. He crushed the field by almost 15 seconds. And it's scary to think he isn't even 20 years old yet. He is already driving like a veteran despite his age.
It's a unique experience. Already qualifying. I think qualifying here is probably the most special of the year.
But the Japanese Grand Prix is in the books, and as predicted, Suzuka definitely exploited the problems with these cars.
Yeah.
Cheers, Suzuka. It just proves why it isn't always glamorous to be
Hey,
an
gave
F1
them
driver, and if you
results
want to
that
know
they need.
why, check out this video now.
Alright, well, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Thank you, Daily Feel Up, for letting me react to your videos. You guys did such a good job explaining and doing your videos. I just love watching your videos. And please leave a like, comment, subscribe, turn that notification bell, go check out my other channels, go check out my other videos, and have a blessed day.